What if I told you that on a $400,000 home, you'll actually pay over $750,000 by the time you own it outright? And what if I told you the banks designed the system exactly this way? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden mechanics of mortgages and showing you how to use that knowledge to build real wealth. Let's start with something that looks simple: your monthly mortgage payment. When you take out a $400,000 mortgage at 7% interest over 30 years, your monthly payment comes to about $2,660 every single month for 30 years. That number feels manageable, right? Just a fixed, predictable cost. But here's what almost nobody tells you: that payment is not what it appears to be. In that very first month, only $327 of your payment actually reduces what you owe on your house. The remaining $2,333, more than 87% of your entire payment, goes straight to the bank as interest. You're not paying down your home. You're renting it from the bank, with a tiny ownership credit on the side. Most people don't look at this number. They just see the mortgage as a fixed monthly expense and move on. But this single misunderstanding is costing American homeowners hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetimes. By the end of year one, you've paid nearly $32,000 in mortgage payments. Of that, only about $4,000 reduced what you actually owe on the house. The other $28,000? Gone. Paid to the bank as interest. This is called amortization. And it is, without question, the most expensive financial lesson most people never learn. The word amortization comes from the Latin root, meaning to kill off or extinguish. And that's exactly what it slowly does to the money in your pocket in the early years of a mortgage. Here is how the math works. Your lender calculates your interest each month by taking your remaining loan balance and multiplying it by your annual interest rate, then dividing by 12. In month one, your balance is $400,000. Multiply by 7% and divide by 12. That's $2,333 in interest, just for month one alone. Your payment is $2,660. Subtract the interest, and only $327 actually reduces your principal balance. In month two, your balance is slightly lower. The interest is slightly less, and slightly more of your payment goes to principal. This continues. Slowly, agonizingly slowly. Over the full life of a 30-year mortgage, you'll make 360 payments totaling approximately $958,000 for a home that cost $400,000. That's over $550,000 in interest alone. You will pay more in interest than you paid for the house itself. And here is the part that most people find almost impossible to believe. In the first 5 years of that 30-year mortgage, you will pay approximately $93,000 in interest while reducing your principal by only about $16,000. The bank collects more in 5 years from your interest payments than your down payment was worth. This is not a scam. It's math. But it's math that works powerfully in the bank's favor and against yours. The average American moves or refinances their mortgage every 5 to 7 years. And this fact is the bank's greatest gift. Remember how amortization front-loads your interest payments, so you pay the most in the early years? In the first 7 years of a 30-year mortgage, you'll pay approximately $115,000 in interest and reduce your principal by only about $28,000. But here is where the trap springs shut. When you refinance or sell and buy a new home, you start the amortization clock over. From scratch. Month 1, 87% interest, 13% principal. Again, every time you refinance, the bank gets to restart the most profitable phase of the loan, the years when the overwhelming majority of your payment is interest. The banks don't advertise this. Why would they? It serves their interests perfectly. This is sometimes called the amortization reset, and it is how many Americans spend 20 or 30 years making faithful mortgage payments, only to discover they've built almost no equity at all. Think about this. If you buy a home at age 30, refinance at 37, and refinance again at 44, which millions of Americans do, you could be carrying a 30-year mortgage schedule well into your 60s, even while believing you've been paying down your debt for decades. Meanwhile, the bank has collected interest 3 separate times on approximately the same loan balance. The house value has grown. Your equity has not kept pace. The amortization schedule has quietly drained the difference. So, what do you do with this knowledge? What are the practical moves that can change this math in your favor? The first strategy is the most powerful and the simplest: extra principal payments. Adding even $100 per month to your principal payment on a $400,000 mortgage at 7% can save you over $40,000 in interest and cut nearly 3 years off your loan. That's $100 per month, saving $40,000. Now consider what adding $500 per month to your principal does. That single change saves over $120,000 in total interest and takes 7 full years off your loan. The math is straightforward. Every extra dollar applied to principal today saves you approximately $7 in total interest over the life of the loan, because of how amortization front-loads the interest. The second strategy is bi-weekly payments. Instead of making one monthly payment, you pay half your mortgage payment every 2 weeks. Since there are 52 weeks in a year, this results in 26 half payments, the equivalent of 13 full monthly payments instead of 12. That one extra payment per year on a 30-year mortgage at 7% saves approximately $77,000 in total interest and pays off your loan 4 to 5 years early, automatically. No extra budgeting, just a different payment cadence. The third approach is refinancing strategically. Not every time rates dip slightly, but when the math truly favors you. The general guideline is that refinancing makes sense when you can reduce your rate by at least 0.5%, and you plan to stay in the home long enough to recoup the closing costs. Typically, that's 3 to 5 years. Run the break-even calculation every time before you sign. The most powerful thing you can do with this knowledge is to choose a 15-year mortgage in the first place, if you can afford the payments. A 15-year mortgage on the same $400,000 loan carries a meaningfully higher monthly payment. At current rates, roughly $3,500 per month instead of $2,660. That's about $840 more per month. But here is what you get in return for that extra money. You pay only about $140,000 in total interest over the life of the loan. Compare that to $550,000 on the 30-year mortgage. You save more than $400,000, roughly the purchase price of another home, sitting in your pocket instead of in the bank's. There is also an equity benefit that plays out immediately. In the first year of a 15-year mortgage, you pay off nearly $40,000 in principal. Compare that to $4,000 on the 30-year mortgage. That equity is real wealth. It's accessible through a home equity line if you need it. It's a cushion against job loss, divorce, or medical expenses. Now, not everyone can afford the higher payment of a 15-year mortgage. That is a real constraint and a legitimate one. But there are middle ground strategies. You can take a 30-year mortgage for the flexibility of the lower minimum payment and voluntarily make 15-year equivalent payments when your finances allow.